This is a tour of a garden railroad located in Sun City Grand in Surprise, Arizona. The video was taken early in the morning, so the sun is coming in from the right-hand side. It makes a very realistic looking scene. You're looking at parts of the west side of a two-part garden railroad. We're going to follow the train down the way. It's going to actually go on a crossing, I'll show you a little bit later, across to the eastern side. It's actually in two pieces and it crosses a sidewalk to get there. Natural lighting produces a very interesting effect. It was an interesting video to make. I really enjoyed it. Again, this is the west side of the layout. Overall, it encompasses about a quarter of an acre of land in two pieces. And there's one of the operators walking by with a remote control in his hand. They actually let me walk through the layout, so I was able to not only video the trains, but actually walk around, and I'll show you some of the scenery. Give you an idea of the extent of the layout. This is all brass track. They spent the money, extra money, to put brass track on here so that it would stand exposure to the elements better and not be quite so difficult to maintain. What you see in the background is actually a tennis court. There are tennis courts around here. It's part of a recreation center that's part of the subdivision, which is Sun City Grand. And here's some of the scenery, some of the buildings they put there. It's all natural gravel. This is something we have a lot of. It's granite gravel that we have a lot of in Arizona. And you see a lot of the natural vegetation here as part of what they've built the railroad around. It's an interesting combination of scale things and real life size things. But they've actually paid a lot of attention to detail. Now we're on the east side. Again, the sun slanting in from the right. Makes a very realistic setting. Here's a look at some of the scenery and the elevations on the east side. They've got 2 or 3 levels here with bridges and culverts and various kinds of elevations and grades. Here comes a steam engine. In a G-gauge train, there's a lot of room in the engine for sound. There's the crossing that I mentioned across the sidewalk, and when a train is coming where the lights flash to warn pedestrians to watch out. And you can see some of the passers-by walking around looking at the various parts of the layout. This is an example of one of the engines. It's actually very detailed. Most of the club members own their own gear, and they bring it down to be part of the layout and then take it home when they've finished running the trains. All the scenery stays here year-round. Coming up is kind of a whimsical look at a train, some rubber duckies, and it's another way to have fun with a garden railroad. And here's another look at some of the scenery on the eastern side of the layout. Combination of realism and actually real sized plants. Very interesting. Some of these locomotives run on battery power inside with the lithium-ion batteries, and others are powered through the track. And they power each section individually, so there's a power control for what we're looking at here, which is the eastern section, and also a separate one for the western section as well. Bunch of friendly guys, happy to share their hobby. They built this so it would be accessible for a lot of public to come by and view it, and they spend a lot of time making it available for visitors to look at. This is the east side of the layout. And here's a look at some more of the scenery. Again, various buildings, scale buildings, scattered around throughout. This is actually again on the west side, and this is a passenger terminal that they have there. And we're going to settle down here for a minute and wait for a steam engine to come through with a train on it. Should be coming around the bend in a minute. There it comes.
Yes.
Yeah, being outdoors is a completely different experience than having a smaller gauge train indoors. There's one of the power stations for giving the tracks power. And this happens to be on the western side of the layout. We're going to follow this train around a little bit. They let me walk around. Very nice of them, and I could just follow some of the action around the various parts of the layout. And here's another look at a train coming down the track with the natural sunlight hitting in the shadows. Makes for a pretty realistic setting. And then a look at some of the scenery again on the east side of the layout, and some of the people there. They have benches there for people to look at and enjoy the layout. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Richard Hayworth. I'm a realtor. If you have any questions about housing, you can give me a call or send me an email. I'll be happy to help you answer any questions you may have. Thanks for looking.